We just came back from our massive road trip across the country, trailering our 2024 Hiker Trailer Extreme Off-Road Edition. In this video, we're going to be going over what was it like towing the trailer from coast to coast for the very first time, over 2,500 miles, what was it like camping inside of the trailer for the very first time, and overall, just our experience when it came down to having the trailer and bringing it across the country. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, what is up? My name is Jeffrey. We love doing videos when it comes down to off-roading, overlanding, and camping. So if you're interested in any of this type of content, check out the channel, subscribe for more. But we're jumping into the video today. So really breaking things down when it came down to this massive road trip, it was a blast, especially just having the trailer with us. This was our first time having a trailer, the Hiker trailer, and bringing it across the country. I'll just give you guys some backstory why we had to pick up this trailer if you didn't see any of the past videos, but if you want to check them out, they're here and they'll be linked down below. But we had to go pick up the trailer across the country. We are in Southern California. We had to drive all the way back to our hometown, Buffalo, New York, to pick up our trailer. Our trailer was actually picked up for us from the Hiker dealership about a month before we actually went down to see it for the very first time, just because we couldn't go down there in enough time to go get our trailer. So we basically had to go across country, pick up our trailer, and bring it back. Now, with that being said, we've done this trip multiple times. We usually do it around once a year where we drive from coast to coast. We've done it in the truck. We've done it instead of a Jeep. Even when we first moved out here, we did it instead of a Focus RS and a Veloster Red. So we've done this trip a couple of times. Usually when we do it, we try to do it instead of a weekend. So we usually drive straight through, pretty quickly, where we don't really stop at all. So we usually just swap drivers whenever we do this type of a trip. This time, the goal was to take our time, go a lot slower, because we did have the trailer that we could sleep in if we needed to. And also, it was our first time towing something across the country, so we wanted to go a little bit slower. So when it comes down to towing the trailer, this was our first time towing really anything, especially this far and this complex. So it was, I will say, wasn't that bad, especially with us. We are towing with a 2019 Ram Rebel. So we do have a full-size truck. That does help out a lot. So honestly, for us, we didn't really feel the trailer too much. So that definitely helped us out a lot. Even when we first loaded up the trailer and we were ready to take off, we did put some extra weight inside of the toolbox in the front. I had some weight equipment I brought with me when we went out there, so I put some extra weights in the physical front of the trailer just to help balance it out a little bit better, just because if we had all of our gear in the back of the trailer, plus the rear tire hitch is in the back, we wanted to try to distribute the weight as best as we possibly could. And I can say for sure the trailer felt fine. Even on big bumps and everything like that, there was no sway or anything like that. Even in some portions inside of Texas where it was really, really windy, the trailer stayed pretty straight. And I could say even some bigger tractor trailers where they were getting pushed around, you could see their trailer kind of moving. The Hiker trailer behind us, it did move slightly, but it was real quick to just settle back in. So I think the way that it was set up extremely well. A couple of things I was actually nervous about, and that was going to be going to gas stations and then just parking in general, and then also like hills and stuff like that. I didn't know what to really expect. So the route that we took, we went pretty much I guess from, like the upper states going down, cutting through Kansas to Oklahoma, Texas, and then going through New Mexico, Arizona. So we kind of avoided Denver for sure. I was nervous about going down hills. I didn't know what to expect. I could say we didn't hit anything like crazy hills, but there was still some pretty decent declines, and I could say the truck and trailer handled it well. The truck didn't feel it much at all, so I'm pleasantly surprised with that. So if you have like a larger vehicle, I would say don't be too worried. At least in my experience so far, I'll definitely report back after we do, maybe once we go up to like Denver and stuff like that. I'll let you guys know what do I think after that, but I can say just my initial reactions after going up and down some pretty actually steep hills. This section, I forgot the grade, but it was a pretty steep grade. They had all the warning signs, for trucks that go in, say, lower gears. The truck handled it fine. When it came down to gas stations were, for the first couple of times, a little bit tricky. I was just like so conscious of like, okay, I know the trailer's behind me. I don't want to hit anything. Make sure I clear the pump and everything like that. But after like the first 3 stops, unfortunately, with a truck, we were stopping to get gas quite often. After my first 3 times, it was pretty natural. I'm like, okay, cool, I know what to do. Swing out a little bit more. The trailer's going to follow you and just kind of like watch it in the mirrors and everything like that. That was fine. I tried to go to outside, pumps if I possibly could. There was a couple times where I had to go in between, normal pumps. That was fine. After I did it a couple of times, it wasn't that big of a deal at all. When it came down to parking and everything like that, it really wasn't that big of a deal. I'm pretty much used to parking at the end of parking lots, especially with the truck, just because it is larger. And sometimes it's just easier just to park at the end of the parking lot. So that's what we pretty much did. Anytime we had to stop for like a store or anything like that, or Starbucks, we just parked at the end of the parking lot, got out, walked to, the store, and then came back. So that wasn't that big of a deal at all. Then I would say, honestly, on road, the trailer handled fine. It really wasn't that big of a deal, especially with the truck. I mean, there was sections of time where I was just keeping up with traffic, and I looked down, and I'm like, oh, I'm going a little bit too fast. Maybe I should slow things down. I didn't feel the trailer at all. So especially if you have like a full-size pickup truck, you wouldn't really feel it at all. And the only thing for us that I would say was just a little bit tricky was in a couple of situations where we got off on the highway trying to go to a gas station and we took a wrong turn, just making sure we had enough space to turn around, just because of, I don't want to back up on like a busy street or even some of these rural streets. I didn't want to back up and try to just get myself in a situation where I'm in the middle of the road. So we had to actually wind up going down these super old school, like rural dirt roads. That happened twice. I think one was in Oklahoma or Kansas. The other one was in Texas. The one time we were literally on the back of farm country, just going down dirt roads for, it was probably a couple miles just to go all the way around to like get back, because the road was literally just like a 1-lane road. The truck couldn't turn around nowhere. So just be careful with that. I mean, that was like the only thing where I was just like, well, this is weird. We're in a, behind someone's farm, and we're in a truck in a trailer. So, hopefully we don't get stuck somewhere. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. But just be wary, just to make sure you know where you're getting off at, because of, you don't want to get stuck somewhere and you're gonna have to try to back out or just get yourself turned around. Is all. Do yourself a favor, double check whenever you're looking at those type of intersections where to get off at. So when it came down to actually the camping part of the trip, I would say it was a slight mixture of boondocking / stealth camping, if you want to call it that. We didn't stay at any type of dedicated campground or anything like that. We actually stopped at a Walmart twice, and then we did stop at a rest stop actually overnight for a couple of hours. Unfortunately, my wife wasn't feeling the best, so there was actually points in time during the trip where I told her, I'm like, hey, do you want us to just stop and get a hotel? We have extra time. We can just spend the day here at this random place, just get a hotel room if you just want to relax. But she elected for us just to keep going just so we can get home quicker. So there was points in time where I was just like, let's just pull over for a bit. We can just relax. I had to check my computer and everything like that for work anyway. So we stopped actually at a Walmart twice. The first time we stopped, we had to do a meeting. So we just stopped at a Walmart and just parked at the back of the parking lot. We were just in there for a while. And then the second time we actually took a small little nap. I want to say maybe an hour or two, which actually that helped out a lot, especially on this trip. Just being able to just physically lay down, fully flat. That was definitely nice. One night, I want to say maybe at 3 o'clock in the morning, we did stop at a rest stop and just parked next to the big trucks, and we slept there for the rest of the night. Woke up in the morning, early morning, I want to say maybe 7, 8 a.m., and then just kept driving, finished off the trip. So a couple things that I learned. The trailer in the day. So we stopped the first time, I don't know exactly where it was, but it was pretty warm outside. Definitely pretty hot, especially with two adults, 2 huskies. It was kind of warm. But actually just opening up the windows, the vent, the AC prep ventilation, and then having the max fan going, and we also bought this other little fan inside of the trailer. That helped cool down everything just so much. That was great. Yeah, I want to say it was high 70s, maybe low 80s, maybe actually a little bit warmer than that outside, and it was sunny. But doing all of that, it cooled down the trailer a lot, and it was really nice and like bearable. It was actually like a real nice breeze and everything inside of there. So that was great to see. And then even when we stopped overnight, I know we were inside of Arizona and it got cooler at night. I don't know the exact temperature, but it was definitely pretty. It was kind of nippy, but just having the blankets and then closing the windows, we just kept the AC prep vents open, but just closing the windows overnight and having the curtains. We did have like these kind of thicker curtains, having those closed. That kept everything pretty nice and warm in there, so it was totally bearable. So yeah, if we would have had like even more blankets, like it can be a lot colder in there and we would be fine. So yeah, so just if you're curious about that, just the temperature gauging, yeah, it was overall, it was fine. We had no real issues. I don't know if I would want to go camping if it was, 10 degrees outside Fahrenheit, but I would say anything above freezing, it should be fine. But then overall, my thoughts for this trip, the trailer did great. I will say for our dogs, it is a little bit high. So I do have to kind of help them in and out of the trailer. We'll probably get like a little staircase for them. We have one that we use for the truck. We just didn't bring it with us because we haven't had to use it in a while. So I'll probably do something like that for the dogs. But like me and my wife can get in and out of it, no problem. But for like the dogs, it is a little bit high. Overall, the trailer did fine. I really am happy with it. I really am impressed with just how well the trailer towed behind the truck. And I'm really actually impressed with just the truck in general. The truck did great. If you want to see the setup for the truck and how we built it to be the perfect overlander / off-road / road trip vehicle, check this video out right here. This is the review of my 2019 Ram Rebel. And what can I say? I love this truck to death. Check this video out. We'll see you in the next one.